Another Southern battle, Tennessee against New Orleans, slightly lower over under at 41. Obviously, this New Orleans offense was phenomenal in the preseason. Every time Derek Carr seemed to be on the field, it was just marching the ball down the field and scoring touchdowns. We've got the Chris Olave breakout last year. Michael Thomas is potentially healthy for the first time in what feels like forever. Do you think this Saints offense could be an absolute tire fire, or do you think it could be a superstar right out the gate?
I struggle with Michael Thomas. I think, it's been so long since we saw him do anything of note. Rashid Shaheed, who was really impressive in spells last year, he's a player that I wish I could be able to be more excited about, but because Michael Thomas is there, you feel like the Saints are going to give Michael Thomas his opportunities because they are still paying him a reasonable amount. I look at Javon Johnson, and he's somebody that I was aggressively hammering into best ball teams over the last week. I really wanted to make sure that I was overexposed to him. But the big thing for me over these first 3 weeks is what does the running back room look like over the next 3 weeks with Alvin Kamara suspended? We know that Jamal Williams was kind of a player that the Saints sought out, possibly at a time when they expected Alvin Kamara to be suspended even longer. They brought in Kendrick Williams. He struggled with injuries and conditioning through camp. His status might be up in the air this week. So I think Jamal Williams is actually startable in plenty of formats, particularly if you've got rosters where you've got players like Javonte Williams or somebody who's got a question mark over him coming into week one.
Yeah, I love Jamal Williams this week. I think that if you're in Dynasty and you've got, Jonathan Taylor or someone like that, and you're struggling for that running back for week one, I'd love to go and send, 2/3 or something like that to go and get Jamal Williams to tide you over for a couple of weeks, because I think he's got, Kundra Miller, I don't think is going to see much work because he's not had that good, healthy off season to run into the season as such.
Yeah, so I mean, all aboard Jamal Williams. I think it's possibly a little thin to play him on DraftKings this week, just because week one DraftKings prices are always priced down. There's so many good players that you can play around there. I mean, around that cost, you can play Raheem Mostert, you can play Khalil Herbert, players who possibly have slightly higher ceiling outcomes and might be in slightly higher scoring outcomes, because this game, it all comes back to how much the Titans can push the Saints, really, doesn't it? Neither of us are particularly expecting the Titans to be good. But I think if you want to play Derrick Henry in DFS, this is the time to do it. I mentioned it earlier. Older running backs, you want to play them early on in the season. If you've got Derrick Henry in Dynasty, you have to be pushing for this week to be a good week so that you can try and sell him on the back of it. If you're in redraft, obviously you have to play him. DeAndre Hopkins, he's 6,900 on DraftKings. Virtually nobody will play him because everyone's expecting him to be bad. I'm not saying I think that's a good play, but if you're looking for a real dart throw tournament play, that's the kind of one which might be interesting if you want to pair him with Jamal Williams. In redraft, would you be able to start DeAndre Hopkins in redraft, Rich?
I think there comes a point where you probably need to start him, doesn't it? I think realistically, you've spent a top 4 or 5 round pick on him. I've got him at wide receiver 20 this week. I don't feel particularly excited about that, but I just think it could be a volume play. I think that the Titans' offensive line is going to be an issue, and I think they're going to have to get the ball out quick. And I think that I wouldn't be shocked if we saw DeAndre Hopkins getting 10, 11, 12 targets this week.